The Arlesdale Railway. The smallest engines it has, the size of toy trains.
Hey! That's offensive! Mike! Quit interrupting the narrator!
Jock arrived at Arlesburg West with a passenger train connection for the Little Western Branch. It had been a busy day, and the little engine was looking spooked.
You're alright, Jock? You've been quiet the whole journey.
Ugh! It looks as though he's seen a ghost.
Now, Mike, we shouldn't jump to conclusions.
What was that?
Blister 2 rolled up to couple up to the coaches.
Looks like a can of Pringles fell off the table of those lads. Were sitting eating their sandwiches, rolled next to the line.
Oh, okay.
Alright, kids. Everyone plenty of idiots over there. Guys, really? It was your Pringles can, though, brother. No, sir, you are a disgrace.
Jock pulled up beside Bert as the school children and teacher walked over the footbridge to catch the bus.
So what exactly got you scared, Jock?
Oh, come on. He must have seen a ghost, Bert. I mean, just look at him and his pale white face, those wide, horrified eyes. He's clearly traumatized. In every way.
Well, it's a long story, to be honest.
Were you scared by a ghost all morning?
Mike, remember when you got scared of Albert's ghost all those years ago, and also thought that the mine building at the ballast quarry was haunted until...
Wrong universe, Bert. But what's your point?
Well, you didn't like it when we made fun of you when that YouTube video aired last year, so why don't you just do the same for Jock over here?
Well, okay, fine.
To be honest, I wasn't just scared until my return run. It was something that was going on in my mind that confused me throughout the morning. How long do you have until the next trains?
Well, I'm taking the next passenger run in 20 minutes.
I've got a ballast train in 10 minutes.
Well, that gives me enough time to tell you two about it.
And this is what Jock told the two. It was around 8 in the morning and everyone had gone to work, except for Jock. Jock was refilling on water as he waited for Barry to arrive with a delivery of coal from the mainland.
What are we doing after this, driver?
We'll be taking the late morning passenger run and bring ballast for the Scarlovi rally before.
Oh, I see. At least we'll have enough ballast to send to them.
Of course, hard work for us. Well, your water is spilled, so hang tight while I grab a copy of today's Southern News.
Jock's driver left to the station as Jock sat quietly, about to doze off. But that wouldn't be for long.
Excuse me, may I ask you something?
Jock was surprised to see a little boy near to him in school clothes that were very old and torn apart.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, you kind of surprised me.
I'm sorry.
It's no problem, but what did you want to talk about?
Well, I overheard you and your driver talking about quarries around the island. My daddy owns a quarry.
Does he own the ballast quarry nearby in Marthwaite?
No, but he owns the Crovensgate Mining Company down at the Scarlowi Railway.
Didn't it close during the Great Depression when they discovered slate up near Scarlowi Station?
To be honest, I haven't been up there to know myself since my parents separated, as my dad is kind of an alcoholic abuser.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Jock's driver returned back with the newspaper and climbed into Jock's cab.
Anything that's interesting in the news, driver?
Well, the re-election of the mayor, a serious accident on Norby branch, a railway board meeting to build a branch line to either Harwick or restore the old Ulfstead line from Halltroth to Ulfstead, a ghostly encounter on the old iron bridge on the Scarlet Rail.
A ghostly encounter?
Yeah, some weird activity happening around there. But between you and me, I think Duncan was trying to get into the spotlight and get some attention.
What are you looking at? Did someone talk smack about me?
Well, there are things others question about you.
Pah! They could just ask me in person or engine, so to speak.
No need to be rude, Duncan.
Haha, I completely understand.
By the way, who are you talking to?
A little boy, but I think he ran off when you were walking back from the shop.
Oh, that's odd. I saw no one with you from the shop before I started walking.
Are you sure? He was wearing clothes that did have some wear and tear.
I don't know what to tell you, mates, but we should probably grab some hoppers to transport the coal in. Come on, Barry should be on his way.
Of course, driver.
Jock left Bridge Street to grab some hoppers. Jock buffered up to the hoppers used to transport the coal. He soon left with them to Arlsberg West.
Did the animals stray on the line?
Nope. We had an issue with the hoppers. The empty hop were to be dropped off here this morning, but they were brought to Bridge Street.
I understand.
No worries.
Just then, Jock remembered something he wanted to ask.
Barry, may I ask you something?
Go ahead, but please make it quick, or I will need to take those cattle vans to Wellsworth.
Do you know of a mining company called the Crovensgate Mining Co.?
No, I don't think so. But I can ask anyone that works around Cloven's Gates, or anyone that is heading up there.
Thank you.
Jock left to the ballast quarry at Marthwaite with his full coal hoppers. Barry came to a stop at Tidmouth to collect a container flatbed that was to head to the Sodor China clay quarry, as supplies were needed. After he had shunted the flatbed to his train, he went on to take on coal and water. He parked next to Thomas, who was coupled up to Cheryl, Betty, and Veronica.
Morning, Barry. Lovely day, isn't it?
I guess it is, after the rain we had the past couple of days, especially from James's accident and Duncan Donald's too. Do you know how much longer those three will be back on the wheels?
To be honest, I don't know.
Come on, you blue puffball, let's get going.
Patience, Cheryl.
Problems with the coaches?
Just the first class one.
Shut up, Veronica. You too, Betty. I didn't say anything, Cheryl.
I can see that. By the way, you've been on this island since the railway opened. Tell me, do you know of something called the Cloven Skates Mining Co.?
Thomas gave some thought to it.
I'm not sure. It was around before I arrived on the island, but I haven't heard about it since my arrival.
I understand.
Come on, you blue puffball.
How about you pick on someone your own size, my dear? Anyways, must be off.
With that, Barry left to take his train.
Thank goodness you're here, Jock. We're beginning to run low here.
Sorry that I'm late, Rex. The hoppers were brought to Bridge Street instead of Alsborough West.
Don't worry about it, Jock.
I'll try not to. Rex, you've been on the island longer than I have. Do tell me, are there ghosts that roam around the island that you've never seen before? I'm not referring to Albert the Mid-Sodor engine like the script does, going further as a joke.
Rex gave some thought about it.
I have heard of other ghosts roaming the island and the mainland, but only as legends. I never saw one myself.
What about the one that's maybe a 10-year-old boy with torn-up Victorian school clothes?
Afraid not.
I have.
Really, driver?
Late last night while I was in bed with my wife, she thought that I was fooling around. But I did see the ghost of the boy. He looked like an engine ran over him.
Oh my god.
Barry parked the cattle vans and container in a siding. He joined Edward at the goods shed.
Hey, thank you for bringing the cattle vans and container over, Barry. I'll be taking them in a few moments to the port at Lower Sudbury, while Derek will be dropping off the container flatbed.
I suppose they'll be used for the meats, for the workers, and milk for the dairies.
Not quite. They'll be shipped to Brighton. They'll be inspected over there before they are taken to Brendam to be shipped.
Wouldn't it be easier to take the cattle trucks to Brendam instead of Sudbury Port?
You know, you could. But there was an accident last month of exporting and importing illegal drugs inside animals. The small port is mainly to check the cargo that is going to the UK. If it's being shipped outside the UK, the inspection happens at Arlesborough Harbour to the US, and the fishing village near Ballyhoo to Europe, Asia, Africa, New Zealand, and Australia.
I see.
Just then, Barry remembered something that he needed to ask Edward that Jock told him this morning.
Edward, do you know anything about the Cloven Skates Mining Company?
Ooh, I'm not sure. My best guess is it used to be a mining operation during the S&M and Skarloey Railway, before the slate was found near Skarloey Station, of course.
I see.
But how did you know about it?
Jock told me.
Huh?
Well, a little boy told him.
That's odd.
What's even stranger is Jock's driver texted my driver, saying the boy had to look like he'd been run over by a train.
Hey, shut up.
Hold on. When did you get here, Chocolate?
That's not your business to worry about.
So, you know who we are talking about?
Well, I mean, no, well, you shouldn't be joking about those who get injured in gruesome ways. It's vulgar and pure disrespectful to them and their families.
Calm down, Chocolate. We weren't joking about serious injuries.
Then what the bloody hell are you talking about?
About the Cloven's Gate Mining Company that was brought out from a boy who looked like he'd been ran over by a train.
I thought we agreed not to speak of that.
Chocolate, just calm down and take a deep breath.
Edward, do you need someone to take the cattle vans to Lower Sudbury?
Of course. Mate, just take the cattle vans to Lower Sudbury, then we'll talk one-on-one about your outburst when we next meet.
Fine. I'll do it.
I'm very sorry for his outburst.
It's quite alright. Remember, I used to be like that when I had PTSD for being in a scrapyard.
Oh, of course.
Has Julian been getting on Chocolate's nerves?
I'm afraid so. Hopefully I can find a way to separate those two before they tear each other's boilers apart.
I see. I have met Julian before. He's definitely a sort of trouble just like Sheffield was.
The yardsmaster came strolling up to the two engines.
Barry, I've got an urgent call from Crovan's Gate. They need you to collect the slate to take back to the Little Western.
But I needed it back on the Little Western.
They've already got someone covering you until you get back.
Well, at least you'll get to find out the answer to your mystery.
Of course. I'll head there right away.
Barry left to Crovan's Gate.
He will suffer for what he did to me those years ago. I'm in so much pain thanks to him.
Who said that?
Jock? Who are you talking to?
Well, someone...
Wait, what? Hold on. Frank's in this story? Come on, I was actually enjoying it up to this point.
Well, yes, because I was with him during the day.
Screw you guys! I'm going home!
Continue on if you like, Jock.
Thank you, Bert. Well, Frank, I thought that someone said they were in pain.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't hear anyone on the platform say that.
Yeah, that is odd. I swear that I heard something just now.
He will realize the suffering he caused me.
So that's where it ends until I got back here.
I completely understand. I'll have to let the others know about it.
Unfortunately, we do.
But did Barry get around to telling you the answer to your question?
I haven't seen him since this morning.
Well, it's a good thing I'm here.
Hold on, since when did you get here?
I came in after Mike left. I thought you guys noticed.
Not really.
I figured. And to answer your question from this morning, Jock, Reneus and Scarlotti were kind enough to fill me in.
What did they say?
So, do you two know anything about the Cloven Gate Mining Company?
Wow. It's been a while since anyone has asked us about that place.
It does seem odd that it had to be now.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Are you sure your friend wasn't able to come and ask us in person, so to speak?
Well, he couldn't, as he's one of the Arlesdale Railway engines.
Well, that makes sense, I suppose.
To answer your question, Barry, the Crovan's Gate Mining Company was around when Reneus and I were the only engines running the line before the Northwestern Railway existed. Back then, this part of the standard gauge railway was the Sodor Mainland Railway. The mine closed in 1907 due to slate being found near Scarlowy Station, and that the copper was running out for the workers to mine.
The mine is still there, but in bad condition.
Ah, that makes sense.
Barry soon departed back to the Little Western.
They seemed a bit skittish after I left. Maybe that old mining area is probably haunted.
I highly doubt it.
But what we don't know, Barry, is how the boy is connected to the mine.
Oh, crumbs. I forgot to ask those two about it.
That's alright. Maybe someone around might know.
My brother Wyatt can help with that.
You sure about that?
Oh yes, he's a historian of the whole island. He'll load your boilers with useful information of the railway. I'll text him right now to see when he's free to talk.
Cheers, mate.
Later that night, Sigrid was collecting the last of the passengers that she was to take to Arlesdale for the last run of the day. She was looking forward to a good night's sleep as she was exhausted.
He will pay. He will suffer for sure. He will pay. He will suffer for sure. He will pay. He will suffer for sure.
Oh, that must be a bystander playing jokes.
She was too tired to think clearly. She soon set off down the line. The engines were settling down for the night at the sheds, but a moment later, Jock broke the silence.
Everyone, I have something to say.
Huh. If it's about Frank's obsession with Sharon Miller's writing, then we're all in for some real... Mike! I told you that in confidence!
Oh boy, I wonder what the fandom will say.
Not even close, Mike.
Ah, come on! Mike, shut up and let Jock speak!
As you are sort of well aware, there have been some recent supernatural events that have happened lately.
Doug and Donald's accident near Timoth Tunnel.
Percy's accident at Elsbridge Viaduct.
The mail train having a dead body.
Eric's accident near Rolf's Castle.
Duncan's ghostly encounter on the old iron bridge.
My driver's encounter with a ghostly boy.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same topic.
Hang on, Jock. Did you have an encounter with this ghostly boy that's been the recent trend lately around the island?
Yes, a couple of times.
What were those times?
They all happened today, unfortunately.
Scared of a ghost, you lot? You know that I never get scared of anything.
Albert.
Oh, for the love of Godred!
Well, according to what the boy said during my first encounter, he mentioned his father owning the Crovan's Gate Mining Company, which mined copper during the S&M and Skarloey Railway, until it closed in 1909, according to Barry. However, rest assured, my driver's brother will be coming tomorrow to see if he can provide any information about this boy, his father, and the old mining area.
Well, that's good to hear.
Hear, hear.
The fog picked up heavy that night around the forest of Marthwaite. Sigrid had to roll slowly through the fog with the dining coaches.
I can't see anything through this blasted fog.
She ventured further down the line to get to Arlesdale Green in one piece.
He will pay! He will submit!
Oh, this is really creepy and spooky.
Something had caught Sigrid's attention on the line ahead through the thick fog.
Wait, what is that?
Just then, the boy that Jock saw appeared in the fog.
Oh, goodness!
can't sleep, B2. Are you worried about Sigrid? Yes, I'm just not sure that she made it back to her shed or got lost in the fog. Yo, bro, I'm sure that she's fine. You want to take a gamble at that, mates? I think I'll take back what I said.
The fog had cleared at Marthwaite Forest, and Sigrid derailed near the lane. Frank and Bertie were called to the scene of disaster. The body of the boy was nowhere to be seen. It's as if it vanished into the night like a lonely spirit.
Morning, everyone. How did you all sleep?
Not too well.
Was the ghost boy haunting you in your sleep?
Mike, remember Albert?
Ugh. Why is that name written for this video again?
Morning, Olivia. You look exhausted.
We all are, driver. None of us slept that well.
You don't say. Frank got up in the middle of the night, sleep rolling.
Speaking of Frank, where is he? I thought he would be back from the rescue operation.
So that's why he left during the middle of the night. Maybe Sigrid got into an accident.
We'd better find them quickly.
Well, there he is.
Sigrid, are you alright?
I'm fine. I just derailed last night at the forest as I ran over a pebble and thought that I saw a little boy on the tracks. You know how it is with fog, makes you feel hallucinated.
Well, that makes sense.
Bertie came to take the passengers, and the workman and I helped to get Sigrid back on the rails.
Just then, Jock's driver came with a man the engines had never seen before.
Hi everyone, I brought my brother Wyatt here, who's a historian of the whole island.
Hi everyone, I'm here to answer your questions.
Well, I suppose you can say he's our Lord and Savior for us all.
Now I've heard of some ghostly tales the past few days that resorted to some serious consequences.
Do you know anything about this ghostly boy and his connection to the old Crovinsgate Mining Company?
Aye, the boy's name was Lewis Fawn. His mother was Iris Fawn and his father Timothy Fawn. Timothy used to own the Crovinsgate Mining Company back in the day. However, he was a hard drinker and was constantly beating his wife and son. The reason for his drinking was due to the fact that they were running low on copper to mine and he was worried about closing the business down. The mine did shut down in 1909 when they discovered slate at the hills of Skarloey, in which they opened the slate quarry a month later.
That's it?
There's more to it.
Jock's right on that. Iris Fawn was pregnant in 1910 with another baby, and Timothy knew that he wouldn't be able to beat her up when he was drunk, so he took his anger out on his son, which led to the parents getting divorced in May 1910. Things went down south when the Mid-Sodor Railway was constructing this very station, and the tracks were laid down as they were making plans to connect from Islesdale to Islesborough West. Timothy took a job as a porter at the station, which was the biggest mistake.
Why? What did he do?
June 10th, 1910, a 10-year-old Lewis Fawn had fallen onto the tracks as it was a busy day and was run over by a steam engine being separated into pieces. Timothy blamed the engine that did it, but what became worse was Stanley kept the crowd going to give the engine torment, which pleased Fawn in a way. The project to extend the railway to Islesborough West was shut down until it began again in 1917. A month after that, Timothy Ford was found to be guilty as a witness saw him push his son onto the tracks, calling him such vulgar words we must never say, and was sentenced to prison for the rest of his life. Eventually, he was let out, but had to be watched carefully by the police, and had to be put in a special home where he couldn't hurt anyone ever again.
What happened to the engine?
2 hours after the accident, he was locked up at the workshops at Crovin's Gate and was never seen again. No one knows to this day whom the engine was and what he looked like. Some say he was the devil that didn't like children. Others say he was a mysterious vanisher. Whatever it was, it gave the engine a lot of trauma and scared the sins out of him.
Wyatt soon left, leaving the engines feeling quite shaken and nervous. The engines went back to work, thinking of what happened to Lewis Thorne, and felt bad about what had happened to him. They were curious to know who ran over him and find out the truth. However, luck would arrive for them, as the answer was to be revealed just around the corner. The answer wouldn't come from Skarloey and Renes, but from an unexpected source. I mustn't say who, otherwise I would spoil the next episode.
You might as well dump yourself in the ocean. You are no use to anyone. Get the voice out of your head. Do it! After today, no one will remember you. Life will go on normal, and your little secret dies with you.